Hey folks, Mike here, and as you can see, back on the trail. And today's adventure is going to be the Maitland Trail, and the trail itself runs from Goderich to Auburn, so it runs about 50 kilometers. Today we actually started in Benmiller and we're working our way to Goderich. And again, we just actually passed the 19 kilometer mark, so maybe about 19 and a half total for the day, depending on if we do any side trails or veer off the trail a little bit to check out some scenery. Beautiful trail. My initial thought was that we were actually going to be tackling the Guelph to Goderich trail, which is a different trail system, but the Maitland Trail actually follows the Maitland River all the way from the port of Goderich all the way down into Auburn. So beautiful day out today. Started off with a 21-degree drive into the area. We're sitting at about 24, 25 or so, and almost no humidity at all, even though we're obviously in the middle of a bit of a forest. Bugs are out, but not too bad right now. And yeah, more to come, pictures to come, and should be some really nice scenery coming up with following the Maitland River. Hope to see you out there. So just coming out of the tree line, and as you can see, we are in the conservation area. So our first signs of the Maitland River from the perspective of the trail. Beautiful. Beautiful trail. So after our initial climb up the road and into the trail, we had another little bit of a climb and down a bit of a ravine and through the edge of the conservation area, which I'm sure we're actually in at the moment. From the river a little bit, and so it looks like there's camping in Falls Reserve Conservation Area. Not really sure how far of a hike it is to the campground, but there is an option there for anyone looking to do it as a through hike. But our trail continues that way. So what Paul just mentioned, and I was just thinking, is with such a shorter day, shorter for us, that we're accustomed to doing more than 20 kilometers a day, but if today is only going to be 19-20, it definitely gives us more time to veer off the trail and take in the sights and the sounds. So another little update, we just veered off from the river, which is just over here, and went through what appears to be a manicured section of the trail, and some wildflowers, and back into the tree line. So just to give you an idea, folks, that the Maitland Trail is best used or best hiked with trekking poles. It had rained quite a bit yesterday, and that decline is where we just came up, and between some tree roots and some rocks, it's a little slippery, and obviously not the same manicured trail that we were hiking on through the conservation area. Although I think we're still on the outskirts of it. But just to show you the change of difficulty and terrain a little bit. And if you can probably hear the rivers off. Oh, there it is, through the trees. So I'm not sure how well you can see it, but right there is a blaze, and you can see Paul. Sure enough. All right, let's check this out.
I'd like to know how they got that paint up there.
So that's easily well, maybe a story and a half that we just descended. And I must say a heartfelt thanks to the volunteers to maintain this trail, as there's all these steps are put in by the Maitland Trail Association and its volunteers. So I just finished up a quick break, being 5K in. Came across a little bench as we were going across the bridge there. And a fantastic view. And now back at it. So remember how I said that I wish I brought trekking poles? Yeah, there's Paul way up there, both in terms of up the trail and up in elevation. I've been hearing some woodpeckers in the forest. Not right now, of course, now that I got the phone out. All right, so after that massive climb, see this little sign first. And look up. And somebody's got a sense of humor. You can hear I'm out of breath from that climb, but is it ever beautiful here, guys? Really, really beautiful. Apparently we just left the Morris Tract. And onward! So I had a couple pretty big climbs. River's off past the tree line, but it's out there somewhere. And trail has leveled out a little bit. All right, guys, well, we're about 12K into a 19 or 19 and a half K trek for the day. And just had a bit of a stop for a break. And right along the river. And it's funny, we're running into pockets of cool and humid areas, and as much as we needed a break, it's one of those humid pockets that we sat in. So hopefully we can find a cooler spot next time. Ready? Them their way. All right, guys, so after a little bit of road walking, we entered suburbia, and at the end of a cul-de-sac, the trail turned back into wooded area. And at this time, I like to just mention that, you know, I'm kind of contemplating my own abilities. If you've watched more of my videos and if you've been following along, you know that I've done some, you know, plus 20 kilometer days and sometimes even 30 or upwards of 40. But those days not only are few and far between, but it really depends on the type of terrain. And those old rail trails are easy ways to accumulate kilometers because they're typically nice and flat. They're crushed gravel, or you know, something similar to this, where it's you know, easy on the feet. It's not pavement. But the Maitland Trail has some significant climbs and descents, and obviously that takes a different kind of toll on your abilities and your body than just walking in a straight line without worrying too much about obstacles or hills. So as much as you can, take a look at what you're trying to accomplish before you set out for the day. And that's for a couple of reasons, not just to be prepared, but hiking, as I'm being reminded today, is very much a mental game as well. So it's not just, you know, can my body do this, or am I getting sore, am I getting tired, but it's also just the finding the will to keep going. So we're in the home stretch of sorts. Last kilometer or so, we're just outside of Goderich. And as you can see, this is an old road and nature is slowly taking over again. Give you a shot of where we've come from. River, I believe, is off to our left again. Wow. So after another bit of a climb, we've come to the Dunlop Tomb. So if you guys can't read it, here lies the body of Robert Graham Dunlop, Esquire, Commander, Royal Navy and MPP, who after serving his king and country in every quarter of the globe, died at Cairbraid on the 28th of February 1841 in the 61st year of his age. And to the memory of Dr. William Dunlop, a man of surpassing talent, knowledge, and benevolence, born in Scotland in 1792. He served in the army in Canada and in India, and thereafter distinguished himself as an author and a man of letters. He settled in Canada permanently in 1826, and for more than 20 years was actively engaged in public and philanthropic affairs, succeeding his brother Captain Dunlop as member of the Provincial Parliament and taking successful interest in the affairs of Canada, and died lamented by many friends, 1848. Probably last kilometer to the end of the trail for the Maitland Trail, but the Guelph to Goderich Trail continues on a little bit further into town. A few geese on the water. Two exhausted hikers. Lookout point. You think this is another Ahh Point?